Hello everyone, welcome back to Comment Made Easy, and I hope you all are doing very well. Before we begin, let me remind my dear students that the contents of this channel are only to supplement your knowledge, not to replace the regular online and offline classes in your institution. So please attend your classes and do not miss them. Also, if you like our contents, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like the videos and share these videos with your friends, with your batchmates, with your juniors. Also, if you are a teacher, then with your students. Please follow our Facebook page and the link will be given in the description. Today, we shall discuss the different barrier methods of contraception. The aim of the barrier methods is to prevent the live sperm from meeting the ovum so as the fertilization can be avoided. The main contraceptive advantage is the absence of side effects associated with some other very commonly used methods like pills, especially the hormonal preparations and the intrauterine devices. There is also some non-contraceptive advantages of the barrier methods, which include protection from the sexually transmitted diseases or the STDs, and also reduction in the incidence of PID, that is the pelvic inflammatory diseases, and also possibly some protection from the risk of cervical carcinoma. Barrier methods require a high degree of motivation on the part of the user. There are different type of barrier methods: the physical methods, the chemical methods, and combined method means when the physical methods and chemical methods are used together. Generally, the chemical methods are not used individually, it is always used along with some physical methods, so that is why this is also called the combined methods. In physical methods, we have different options like male condom, female condom, diaphragm, vaginal sponge, etc. And we shall discuss all these methods individually. First one is the condom. A male condom is a covering usually made of thin latex rubber that unrolls over a man's erect penis. It prevents a man's sperm from entering the woman's vagina. In addition to preventing pregnancy, condom can also protect both men and women against the sexually transmitted diseases. As we already learned, this is one of the non-contraceptive advantage of the barrier methods. So this is what a unrolled condom looks like. This is the portion also known as tit, because this portion contains air. It has to be expelled before the condom is worn. The condom is fitted on the erect penis before sexual intercourse. The air must be expelled from the tit end to make room for the ejaculate. So during ejaculation, the sperm will collect in this area. So that is why it is very important the air is taken off by squeezing this part, so that there is some room for the sperm to collect after ejaculation. The condom must be held carefully when withdrawing it from the vagina to avoid spilling seminal fluid into the vagina after intercourse. Sometimes what happens, if the partners are not very much cautious, they take out the penis, but the condom can remain inside and the sperm can spill inside the vaginal cavity, and because of that pregnancy can occur. So that is why while taking off the penis, the male person should also hold the condom along with the penis and take it out of the vaginal cavity very carefully. A new condom should always be used during every sexual act. So this is not a reusable thing, we have to remember that. Let us look at some of the merits and demerits of condoms. Merits are, this is easily available, you can find it in any medicine shop. It is also given free of cost from different government health institutes, medical colleges, hospitals, healthcare centers, etc. It is very easy to use and it needs no medical supervision. It is cheap and also free from the government setup, as I mentioned. This is disposable and almost no side effect, except very rare latex allergy, which is one of the demerits, and it can sometimes slip or tear. If improper size of a condom is used, then it can tear. It may slip if the person is not very much cautious, or if oversized condom is used, and it can sometimes interfere with the local sensation. So these are the different merits and demerits of condom. Coming to the next one, that is a female condom. This is what a female condom looks like. The female condom is a pouch made of polyurethane which lines the vagina. So it is inserted inside the vagina, and this polyurethane membrane that lines the vaginal cavity. There are two rings, an internal ring, this is the internal ring, in the close end of the pouch covers the cervix. So this covers the cervix, and the external ring that remains outside the vagina. This is the external ring that remains outside the vagina. It is pre-lubricated with silicone, and that is why spermicide is not generally used along with female condom. That is not needed. This is also another barrier method that can prevent sexually transmitted infections. The problem here is it is of high cost and the acceptability is not very much among the female. So that is why this is also not a very popular choice for the partners. The next one is the diaphragm. This is also known as Dutch cap, although this was invented by a German physician. It is a vaginal barrier that lies in front of the cervix, inserted before the sexual intercourse, and must remain in place for not less than 6 hours after the sexual intercourse. So we have to remember that all these methods that we are discussing here should be used during every act of sexual intercourse. These are not long-term interventions or methods. So that means one cannot use it only once, and it will protect the person for a long period of time. After multiple sexual activity, the person has to use individual methods every time before the sexual intercourse. Generally, a spermicidal jelly is always used along with the diaphragm. The diaphragm holds the spermicide over the cervix. Now let us look at the different merits and demerits of diaphragm. The merit is it has almost no risk or medical contraindication, which other methods may have. So this is very safe to use, and there is not much risk or contraindication for using a diaphragm. But there are few demerits, like it may require assistance of doctor or trained health personnel at first. So that means when a woman is using a diaphragm for the very first time, she may need some assistance or guidance or even demonstration from a trained health personnel, that can be a doctor or any A&M, etc. And after delivery, it can be used only after involution of the uterus is completed. Otherwise, the diameter of the cervical cavity may differ, and the diaphragm may not fit, and its use will not be very much beneficial. If left in the vagina for an extended period, then there is a remote possibility of TSS, that is toxic shock syndrome. This is one of the very, very rare complications of diaphragm use, but it can occur sometimes. Next is the vaginal sponge. Now this is not a very popular method. It is rarely used, and we do not recommend anyone to use this. This is usually commercially marketed in USA under the trade name of Today. It is a small polyurethane foam sponge. This is what it looks like, measuring 5 cm to 2.5 cm, saturated with spermicide, and the chemical composition is non-oxynol 9. The sponge is far less effective than the diaphragm. So as I mentioned, this is not also very effective. Sperms are trapped on the sponge and are killed. So they are trapped on these sperms are trapped in the sponge, and since there is spermicide present, it will kill the sperm. But if a couple is not using any method, then this is better than nothing. So in that case, she may use it. It will probably provide some protection, but as I mentioned earlier, this is one of the least recommended methods of contraception. Then we have the chemical methods. There are different categories of chemical methods. We can have foams in the form of foam tablets or foam aerosols. We can have creams, jellies, or paste which are squeezed from a tube. There can be suppositories inserted manually, or there can be soluble films, safe films inserted manually. So these are the different options of chemical method, but they have certain drawbacks. For example, there is high failure rate. They must be used almost immediately before intercourse and repeated before each sexual act. This is also a problem for most of the barrier methods itself. They must be introduced into those regions of vagina where sperms are likely to be deposited, and very rarely they can cause some burning sensation or irritation besides the feeling of messiness among the users. So these are the different drawbacks of the spermicides or the chemical methods. But among all these options, I would say that male condom is the most commonly used method. Female condoms are not very commonly used, not very popular, but diaphragm is also quite commonly used. Then we have the vaginal sponge, least commonly used. There are chemical methods which are better to be used along with the physical methods, and that is why they are called the combined methods of barrier contraception. So with this, we conclude today's session on barrier contraceptive methods. If you like the video, please subscribe to our channel and share this video with your batchmates, juniors and friends from other colleges. We also have our Facebook page that you can follow. The link is given in the description. Take care, and we shall see you in our next video.